Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am Chase Bunker, alongside the half-Asian sensation Curtis Coe,
How's it going, everybody?
the man that needs only one name to describe him, Murph Murphy,
How's it going, guys?
and since he hates all my other intros, a person. It's Daniel Clegg.
I'll just make up one for myself next time.
Yeah, you
Hello,
can do
everyone.
that. All right. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for watching it. Make sure you also like, comment, subscribe, and answer some of our questions, or ask us some. And you know what? We might even answer on our show, because let's face it, we need material. And if you're on Podcast Garden, thank you very much for listening to us. And if you have a question, tweet me over at Chase Bunker, because I had nothing else creative to put in. So, gentlemen, let's start off with the show with a trailer that just came out just today, actually. The Jurassic World trailer starring Chris Pratt. They showed it to be like this massive, like Busch Gardens meets SeaWorld, but with dinosaur place. And then, of course, in a typical movie, it goes down. So let's start off with Murph. Murph, what did you think of the Jurassic World trailer?
So they've burned me twice before. We both all can remember the horror that is Jurassic Park 2 and 3, and those are some. It's almost as bad as a T-Rex running through LA and then drinking your pool.
Almost as bad as that.
Can we
Almost.
at least agree that the second one is probably the worst of the three of them?
No, I would
Really?
fight you to the death on that one.
I
3 is
actually think
terrible.
the third one is mildly enjoyable. Mildly enjoyable.
I
If you're
thought we were
drunk
both were
and
decent.
sleepy.
Well, which-
It's. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I'll give you this: the part where the T-Rex gets into LA and starts stomping around is fun, but that's the only good part of the third one.
That's the second one.
Oh well, shit. Then there's nothing in the third one.
So you two agree.
All
Excellent.
right. So, Clegg, what about you, and what did you think of Jurassic World?
I'm not crazy about dinosaur movies in general. I like the first one. The other two were both kind of to me. This one looks interesting. I'll go see it just because of the actors who were in it. You know, Star-Lord fighting dinosaurs sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Just because it's Chris Pratt. But the premise is kind of weird. We got I forget if it was in the second one or the third one, but we found like tanks where they were cloning dinosaurs, but like doing genetic modification to them. I think it was in the third one,
Yeah.
right?
That was
Yeah.
the third one.
So this is like the continuation of that, and I think it's kind of cool how they're hinting how it's in the future, and they've actually got the park up and running the way it's supposed to. So you can sort of imagine this is how the first one could have gone if things hadn't gone wrong. You know, this is like how the first one was supposed to go in the first place. So it's an interesting premise, but I don't like the genetically engineered super dinosaur concept. It feels like I saw this movie when I saw Pokemon with Mewtwo. You know, it's the same thing.
Wow.
And it was.
At the-
Hopefully, it's better.
At the end, Chris Pratt will be, dying on the ground, and then all of the raptors will circle around him and start crying.
Oh, there you go. And their tears will bring him back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
all
that's
the
another thing I
world-
wanted to talk about, Curtis. Before I get your take on it,
Go ahead.
The-
Go ahead.
if you haven't seen the trailer, definitely go look it up because it's very interesting. But there's one scene where Chris Pratt rides a motorcycle with raptors. It's like, shouldn't the raptors be mauling him right now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
so I have read a plot synopsis of this from, I guess this was leaked a long time ago, so grain of salt. Apparently, Chris Pratt is a dinosaur behaviorologist, and
Emerging field.
yes, an emerging field. You can get
Well,
it,
like,
it's Phoenix
there-
Online.
There's a lot of biologists that do deal with behavior, so it's not out of the question. That
No, I mean that's I'm sure they would have dinosaurs. He's a trainer, and sure, there's Grizzly Man. We all remember the guy who lived with bears and all that.
yeah.
and then got killed by bears.
Well, right, but okay, he lived with bears for a bit though.
Yeah, that's true.
He could survive a motorcycle ride. So I guess the real premise of this movie is that Chris Pratt is taking the good unmodified dinosaurs and Pokemon style fighting the bad, evil, modified dinosaurs in that sort of dinosaur to dinosaur fight. It's
Did you just literally say that? He's taking the good dinosaurs to fight the bad dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna.
That's what it looked like in the trailer, right?
that is
He's
what it-
leading them via motorcycle, either away from something or towards something.
I mean, I'm going to be really mean here, but when I was watching the trailer, the only thing I could think is Chris Pratt is not funny in this movie at all. How is he going to do without being funny?
He
That's
could be
true.
funny.
I mean,
In the trailer, he's like, genetically modified dinosaurs. That sounds like a bad thing.
he's
That's
not
like
even
the most foreshadow I've ever seen. Like, blatant foreshadowing.
I mean, I guess I'm just not quite buying him as the serious action hero. I've always thought he makes an excellent goofy action hero, but I'm still not quite buying this whole.
Yeah, but I mean, if you had told me before Guardians of the Galaxy that he could pull off action hero at all, I would have laughed
That's
at you.
true.
He was actually really good in Zero Dark 30.
That is
No,
true.
not-
He was also good in Zero
was-
Dark 30.
He was doing an action role in that one too, and he did very well.
Let's also not
Now-
forget that Michael Keaton also was a bit of a comedic actor as well before he did Batman.
That's true.
So maybe.
I mean, this trailer here shows me a movie that could be good. I definitely saw a leaked Jurassic Park 4 treatment that just never got made, and it involved raptors on a space station. So
Okay.
I saw one picture that had they wanted to do a human dinosaur hybrid, and
I saw that one too.
It was so creepy.
bad.
It was like, oh my gosh, if they did this would be so awesome. But then oh, we can't do it. And it's like, come on, sci-fi, make this movie for me.
They probably are.
After
Yeah.
Sharktopus
they are.
3.
No,
I mean,
we want sci-fi. We want the Sci-Fi Channel to get back to good programming like Battlestar Galactica, not shit programming like Sharknado. They need to make good stuff, not shit
Well,
stuff.
they actually their Z Nation is pretty solid, and
That's
they
unreal.
have been making some strides to try to get better television on the air. I know they have something that's very Battlestar Galactica-esque. It's a mini series that's coming out soon. I can't think of what it's called right now. I'll look it up. But it's
whatever it is, dinosaur meets human clone. That's a bad movie.
I feel like if
That's-
IGN
sounds
reviews a TV show, it's probably a decent television show.
yeah. What was it? It was called Dominion. Was kind of interesting idea.
Yeah, you had Dominion. What's funny is IGN also reviews Girl Meets World, so it's like, hey, watch this. It's like, I don't know if I really should.
I
Yeah.
mean, to drag this into video games.
Oh,
Jurassic
is that what we're
Park.
supposed to talk about?
Hey,
Okay.
Girl
Yeah,
Meets
the
World's a
Jurassic
video game, I think. If not, we'll make one.
No.
Jurassic
No.
Park has actually spawned quite a few games, but probably in the sort of Genesis, Super Nintendo era. Did you? Or were you? Am I the old man who remembers these games?
No.
Or-
No, because I played it
no,
on
no.
Super
You
Nintendo.
played them.
I played
Okay,
the
okay.
Sega Genesis game like a crazy person. The one where you drove around. It was like Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto. It was amazing.
No, I don't know this
The
one.
Super-
Oh, it was amazing.
Really?
The Super
It was
Nintendo
hard.
had one where you go through the planes. What's funny is if you go through the door of Jurassic Park, you get to explore and it's all cool. But if you don't go in through the door, you go down, you just get attracted by a raptor and it just kills you immediately. But if you go into a place, if you can literally go into the kitchen and all of a sudden it goes from top down to a first person shooter.
Hmm.
And it was really cool.
All right.
And my mom, I remember we rented this as a long time ago, and my dad comes and he plays it, and my mom was mad because she thought that he rented Doom instead of a game that was for all of us. And so she's coming, is like, did you just rent Doom again? No, it's Jurassic Park, I swear.
Oh gosh, I think my favorite was, I believe it was a Genesis. It was where you could play as the humans, but who would care to, because you could also play as the raptor. Oh my god! I mean, why bother being a human when you can be a dinosaur?
Right? It's true.
That is also
Wasn't
very
there kind of like a Zoo Tycoon version of Jurassic Park as well?
I think Dinosaur Tycoon.
Yes,
believe so.
I played that one. Dinosaur Tycoon, I think is what it was called.
No, I think there was an actual Jurassic Park version.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Um,
But
I think there
Anyways,
was.
I think it was on the Xbox or something. I don't remember.
I'm
Anyways,
pretty
There-
sure I played Dinosaur Tycoon when I was little.
fantastic. That was
Pretty sure I did.
fantastic too.
I was disappointed
So-
when they had the miniseries. I don't know if it was Telltale that did it, but there was a Jurassic Park 5-episodic game or 5-part episodic game that came out. I was like, oh, this looks cool, but it turned out to be really crappy.
I think it was Telltale's like early game.
Yeah, when it wasn't
Early
like
attempt.
Sam Max.
Yeah, I do have. I think I own that, but I have not played it yet.
Spoiler alert, it's crappy probably.
Yeah, I played their Sam and Max are okay. The Back to the Future one was. I did not enjoy it, though some people do.
Yeah, I'm only on episode 3 on Back to the Future.
Wolf Among Us was really good.
Yeah. I haven't tried Walking Dead, but a lot of people are saying that Walking Dead was amazing. Like I tried Sam and Max, but I guess because I'm not an adventure game aficionado yet, it is probably could be the reason why I didn't like it. But there were some parts like I played the free one where you had to you fought up against Abe Lincoln, and like I couldn't advance. I'm like, why can't I advance? Like, oh, I didn't click the leaf on the wall that had this. It's like this is why I don't like adventure games that much. Like this is why people hate them.
Yeah.
But going back to Jurassic Park, is Jurassic World based off the book as well, or is there a book of Jurassic World, or is this an entirely like original plot?
I don't think 3 was based on a book, was it, Murph? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Jurassic Park 3. I know 1 and 2 were based on books.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I don't believe it was.
So I think
Another reason I'm worried about a movie like that is that sequels that come so long after the originals just tend to not do very well in general.
Don't say that, because I'm about to watch Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah. So, like I was saying,
I hope.
sequels that come way after the original tend to not do
No! No!
Well, I think that is I think that's more of an issue though when you're using original characters.
Yeah.
Right, if it's like a reboot, those tend to do
I think-
better. At
I
least
think
than
this
a
is-
really late sequel.
Somewhere between a reboot and a sequel. Like I think the continuity of the old movies still exist, but they're just all new people.
All right.
Yeah. I kind of just wish they went with a straight reboot route on this. I would kind of.
I think it would have been
I'm ready
more.
for that. I think.
We're
But you
getting
have to
close.
admit-
If this- Go ahead.
In that trailer where they bring out the giant like crocodile from Lake Placid like creature when they feed the shark was actually pretty awesome.
That creature is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Feed Shamu at SeaWorld, but with the giant dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
That thing is like twice the size of a blue whale, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
was that
Oh, it looked
Predator
like it.
X or
What?
was that Predator X?
I don't know.
Which, for those of you
offhand.
who are unfamiliar, Predator X is a creature that lived millions and millions of years ago that apparently was just destroying people, destroying the world, and like ate so many creatures, and was apparently really massive, like megalodon standards. But like,
No, I
we
think
don't have like an
it's-
actual like shape of it, or
No, we do have a pretty good idea of what it is. If I remember correctly, it's called a Plesiosaurus. Well, we won't get into any more of that. It's just so large that they're not sure if it's a new creature or not.
okay. All right, with that, it's game time. Clegg, I believe you have the game
already.
for us today.
I do. Okay. So we're gonna play a game where none of you should expect high scores, because the way this works is you have to successfully guess an entity in a field I will specify, and I will give you clues as to what it is, and you can have up to 5 clues to nail it down. So, for example, if I were to name the category as companies that develop animated characters, and I were to name Goofy and Mickey and and Pluto,
Disney.
the correct answer would be Disney. And if I had to give you 3 hints to nail that, you would lose 3 points. If I only have to give you 1, you only lose 1 point, and so on. You can have up to 5. So we'll start off with Chase.
All right.
And since the game we've played together more than any since I've known you is League of Legends,
All right.
you have to guess League of Legends characters.
Okay.
And your hints will be their ability names.
Okay.
So I'm going to name off an
right.
ability name from a champion from least obvious to most obvious.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
man.
This first one shouldn't be too bad. and you have up to 5. Noxious Trap.
Noxious
Move-
Trap.
move
Oh, Noxious
quick.
Trap is Timo.
Timo. Okay, only 1. -1. All right.
Okay.
Next champion. Chomp.
Chomp
King's
is...
Tribute.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that second one.
King's Tribute. Frozen Domain.
Oh, Trundle.
There you go. All right.
Chundle?
Trundle.
He's a
Trundle.
troll.
Yeah.
He is a
Who's
troll.
naming
He's a
these
troll
people?
with a mace.
All about
All right.
Chase.
I love Trundle.
Chase. No
Next
Trundle.
up, Chase. Slicing Maelstrom. Mark of the Storm.
Oh.
Thundering Shuriken.
Oh, Kennen.
Cannon. All right. -3. And finally, your last one. Wall of Pain. Defile.
Oh, Karthus.
All right.
I
All
was
right.
like, when you said Wall of Pain, it's like, I know it. It's like, it's Karthus. Say Karthus. Why aren't you saying Karthus?
That's right. All right. That was all 4. Well done, Chase.
Thank you.
I'll tell you your score at the end. Curtis,
Yo.
yours is a little more universal for our audience. You will name comic book movies
Oh, God.
based on their cast.
surprised
Wait,
you didn't
wait.
give
Are
me
you
this
telling me
one.
Are you telling me the actors? Or are you telling
I'm going
me
to tell you the actors.
Oh God.
You
Okay.
must name the movie.
Ooh.
Okay.
This is gonna be hard. Okay.
I like
go
this
ahead.
category.
And we are going from most obscure to most obvious.
Okay.
So the longer we go on each movie, more obvious it
Gotcha.
should become. First movie. Jamie Alexander. Stellan Skarsgård.
I know it.
Idris Elba.
That's Thor.
Yes. Thor.
All right. I would
E3.
get all 5, and still I would get like negative points.
Well, for your reference, Anthony Hopkins and Chris
okay.
Hemsworth.
I didn't know who the Skarsgård. I thought that there was someone.
I was waiting for you to say
That's
Skarsgård. I'm like, say it.
that's
Say it.
Eric Selvig. That's the doctor who goes crazy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
All right, next one. Peter Sarsgaard. Tim Robbins. Blake Lively.
That would be Green Lantern.
There you go. Nice.
That's because that was an awful movie. I can't believe I watched that.
It was. Where else do you know Blake Lively from?
I don't know.
The Traveling Pants. Don't ask me why I know that. Next question.
She was actually in what was that Ben Affleck movie?
The Town.
Yeah. She's,
Oh, okay. All right. Next movie, Curtis.
Go.
Gary Oldman.
Mhm.
Should give you
The
your setup
Batman.
there.
So we can go with the Batman, the Chris Nolan trilogy.
You gotta select which movie it is. Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal was in the second one, so Dark Knight.
There you go. Nice.
Wow.
That was pretty good. And last one. Kevin Costner. Diana Lane.
Oh, that's going to be Superman, the new one, which is called just Superman, right?
It's called Man of Steel, but
Man of
we'll
Steel.
give it to you. We'll give it to you.
No, I guess Superman. So that's
Well,
not the
you
right
knew
time.
it was the new one. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Murph.
Okay.
Your turn.
I like
Let's
this.
do this.
Now, since you have this just flaming, undeniable, unquenchable hatred of AAA titles and developers, I have a list of third-party developers. You must guess the developer based on the games they've made.
Oh Jesus, this is gonna be bad.
Man.
Now, these aren't totally obscure. These aren't like indie developers. These are third-party. So it's not Nintendo. It's not Microsoft,
Right.
but it's other
Gotcha.
developers for their consoles. All right, from most obscure to least obscure.
Okay.
Battletoads.
Rare.
Wow, there you go.
That gets
Thank
a golf
you.
clap, sir.
Thank you.
That's
that was
impressive.
pretty good. All right. Lost Planet.
Oh, Take Two.
No.
Oh fuck.
Monster
All right.
Hunter.
Capcom.
There you go. All right, now because you guessed incorrectly, we're gonna take off another
All right.
one.
That's fair.
Next up, Empires and Allies. Fairy Tale Twist. Mafia Wars. Words with
Microprose?
Friends.
Oh.
Oh.
Farmville.
Oh. Zynga.
Zynga.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that.
Never.
I would never
know
thought
that.
until you said
I would have either.
They're actually
the third one. It's like I would.
they're actually based out of Orlando.
really.
Are they
Oh, are
really?
they?
Wow.
Should try to apply for that.
For audience reference, that's not far from where some of us live.
Yep.
All right, last one, Murph. Escape from Monkey Island. Afterlife.
Oh, LucasArts.
There you
Yeah,
go.
LucasArts.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
And let's total up the scores and see where we stand.
That wasn't as obscure as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought
well,
that was
like,
gonna
I
be
thought
like-
you were going to try to like, I want you to name developer of Gone Home, Super Meat Boy.
No, that's Gone Home
Team
is
Meat.
Fulbright.
There you go.
Isn't Team
Payday
Meat-
2.
If we were to go ridiculously obscure, none of the audience members would get it either, and that's no
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Those-
That's
those-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battletoads. Jesus.
Right?
That-
I love
I'll
that
give
game.
you Battletoads because that.
They're gonna make a new one.
Oh Jesus! It's gonna be
Oh,
terrible.
really? Well,
It's
no,
going
I
to be.
thought. I don't know. They reapplied for the
Microsoft did.
the name, right? But that doesn't mean they're going to make a game. That just means they're holding on to the property. The
Yeah,
intellectual
but
It's-
it's. I
You
think they-
could do a good Battletoads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Clay,
just make
for,
that.
for the sake of it,
make that
what would
one
games would you
level.
put down for Rare?
What other games they put down for Rare?
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie,
Good.
Donkey Kong Country,
Good.
Perfect Dark,
Oh man.
GoldenEye.
Good. All right, I
Okay,
like those
yeah.
choices.
Okay,
I was
so,
waiting for you to put like
bringing
Tech
up
Sports
the rear,
Rivals.
Bringing up the rear, the Zynga one just killed you, Murph.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah.
Negative 11. Sorry, buddy.
Oof.
In middle is Curtis with -10,
Yeah.
and Chase -9.
Woo!
So it's a pretty good spread. You guys were close.
If you're watching this on YouTube, here's me flexing. And if you're watching this on podcast or listening on Podcast Garden, I am currently flexing. That felt good.
You need a bigger screen.
I know. I do need a bigger screen for that. That was fun. Good job, Clay. Thank you very
That was
much
good.
for that.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good game.
GG. Well played. Talk about like something sad for a second. G4 is finally shut down entirely. The first gaming channel to ever come out and pretty much, baskets glory and cable. It's finally shut its doors. It's notable for its shows like Cheat, XPlay, Attack of the Show, and of course G4TV.com, a whole bunch of others. What do you think happened to help cause this crash? We'll start off with Curtis. I know you and I watched this a lot back in the day.
The internet. I mean, you could just get it faster. You don't have to sit through commercials. I mean, honestly, it's just better quality. They were doing some cool things in the beginning, but none of it really panned out in the long run, because why would you watch a 30-minute show about cheats when you could go on the internet and look it up in 10 seconds?
Find an FAQ online for whatever game you wanted. Yeah.
Exactly. And the issue, like, XPlay was very good for a while. But again, just as things go on, and it was pretty obvious that they were not getting the viewership they needed, it's just spiraled out of control. And eventually they were just showing cops all the time.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so
And-
They showed cops on G4.
Yeah.
Yes, they
like,
showed
at a- like,
campus police
Yeah,
and like
Campus PD.
cops, and then like Ninja Warrior was the big thing that they had for a long time, and then Spike TV bought that off of them.
So it's not even. But in the end, they weren't even a video
No.
game.
no,
channel.
they weren't.
Yeah,
They
like-
had. Did they still have XPlay, which was like their big?
They
thing,
got rid of
or did
XPlay as soon as Adam left. Which I read this Kotaku article. Which if you haven't read it, make sure you read it because it's a little bit hard hitting. Like you see the episode and the reaction, like where you knew that it was Adam's last episode. But like they got rid of Sessler, which was I think probably one of the big things that helped them, that caused the downfall. And then they later shut down XPlay like at the end of the year, and then Attack of the Show went out. And then pretty much it just became like Cops reruns, reruns of Ninja Warrior, like and all these like stupid reality shows. They had cheaters on there. It's like as soon as you saw that cheaters got added, like it was gonna fall. And
So
sorry, you Murphy?
like I don't think it died. I just think it moved, and I think it moved to, like Curtis said, the internet. Like I recently just subscribed to Giant Bomb's premium service because I wanted to watch Metal Gear Scanlan, which is what's his name, Dan Reichert and Drew Scanlon. They're Giant Bomb podcasters, and they're playing through every episode of every Metal Gear game, and they're providing hilarious commentary on top. And
like you do.
Like you do, and you can't put that on television because it's like an hour of Drew fighting Revolver Ocelot and just absolutely failing at it, and them just them. When you're fighting a boss with your buddies and like you get so close and then you like
fail,
jump into the fire, and then there's that like moment.
Yeah,
it's kind of capturing that, but it's an hour long. My wife laughed at me, but I think it's perfectly normal that I was playing video games and I just had this in the background and I was watching it, and it worked for me because it's passive kind of viewing.
Yeah.
So, like.
It is, but you can get that same sort of content, maybe not tailored in the same manner or at the same production quality, but you can get all that on Twitch now, which is free.
Well,
there
YouTube
are other
as
options.
well.
And YouTube, 'cause I mean, like,
yeah, absolutely.
I watch
Game
Game
Grumps.
Grumps, exactly. Like, them playing Trauma Center is hysterical because they provide the voice work. And if you haven't watched it, it's, oh my gosh. Curtis came into town, we watched that for a little bit, and we were, like, just rolling on the floor laughing.
And it's relevant because they're making comments that you would totally make, like, why do they put a puzzle on the sewer crate?
Yeah.
They're like, instead of being normal and be like, here, let's put a lock on here so these people drown and then we don't have to worry about it. Hey, we got this puzzle game made for years, and it even says, I think, like, age 5 to 12 or something. And it's like...
Just to insult them.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically. It's like, let's throw 3 doctors and... a sewer grate, put a puzzle on there. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I support Giant Bomb because I believe in podcasting, and I like giving money to people who make things that I like.
Yeah.
As controversial as that is.
You don't give me money.
Okay.
Oh, so that's a fancy way of saying
this
you
is
don't like me, huh? I see how it
It's
is.
really awkward.
Why don't you go promote your other podcasts then, huh? With Dork Night and Nerd Night and your Dark Souls podcasting.
Okay.
That's not mine.
What other podcasts am I missing?
No, I've only got the one.
Oh, okay.
But no, like I like giving money to people that I like, and I also like it when they give it out for free as well.
Yeah.
But YouTube is great, and I quite frankly I think, as much as I dislike PewDiePie, like personally, I think he's going to be the next Tom Hanks. I think, like he is the next star. Like you're not gonna like celebrity, like A-list celebrity is out. The time of it's gonna be the YouTube star is the next whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. He's gonna be the next Tom Hanks. Like I think, I mean, I think you're precisely right. I think also with I'm going back to the G4 downfall. I think when Tech TV merger happened. And you saw, I'm just fiddling a whole bunch of stuff now. When Tech TV merged with G4, I thought, it's going to be really good. You're going to bring an XPlay, but like instead, like they just weeded out like a whole bunch of people. Like they had this awesome show, G4TV.com, with Scott Rubin and Tina Wood and Laura Foy. Like it was essentially like what we're doing, but they're also like really good as well. Like they're very personable and. It was more interactive, sadly, and we're not as of yet. I loved that, and they got rid of it. They completely ousted it. They got a completely new host with Cheat, because originally it was Corey Rouse, and it was awesome, because he knew what he was talking about, and then you bring in this other girl who just doesn't look like she knows what she's talking about. And, and they got rid of Arena. I hated that.
But, I think we have to go back to what Murph and I were talking about. I think they were just doing it better other places. I mean, why would you wait a week for a show when you can see it every day?
Yeah.
Plain and
and
simple.
on demand.
Yeah, exactly. Like on my time instead of on the TV's time.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't think TV people know how to produce video game content. Like, they just don't. Like, and it's like, and unfortunately, when video game content is long, it's drawn out, and it doesn't really put commercials in very well. It's because it's a video game, it's not a TV. I mean,
It's not necessarily meant to be watchable in the same way.
Right.
Because if you're not interacting with the game, then you really have to build it to be watchable. You know, something like Hearthstone is built from the ground up to be a watchable sort of entertaining experience. But so many games just don't even consider that sort of extra audience. You know, someone who's watching someone else play, it's not meant for that.
and
Right.
and like there's all sorts of copyright weirdness. Like, can you?
That goes along with that.
Yeah. Like, can I broadcast on TV me playing Far Cry 4? I imagine some lawyer would just have an absolute shit fit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and that's actually a real point, and that actually happens every day on YouTube. People get their videos get removed based on copyright infringement, even though it's technically under what is it, parody or something along those
Fair
lines.
use.
Fair use, excuse me.
Well, yeah, because they're worried about a lot of things. They're worried about people experiencing the story of the game, so then I don't need to buy it because I saw what happens.
Yeah.
Experiencing the music, and that's a copyright issue in and of itself. Because if you listen to the entire track, you know that's someone owns that music, someone made that music, they should get paid for it. You know, there's a whole bunch of issues with broadcasting and rewatching like that.
And it's also, well, we won't get into that one. Never mind.
Murph, what are you eating? I see you
Oh,
podcasting and eating at the same time.
I'm muting. I'm being professional.
You were being very professional. It's like the multitask, like, you know, drinking and podcasting. Okay, it's kind of risky, but you're just like multitasking. It's like, hold on, let me eat, drink. This is what I think, and then you just keep repeating. It's like, have you been doing how long have you been doing this to where you just mastered that craft? I'm like, next episode, Murph's gonna eat, drink, podcast, and get dressed, all at the same time.
What you don't know is I'm actually doing another podcast at the same time. This is
He keeps muting
I'm
himself.
a very busy man.
Yes,
Uh,
you're a talented man, Murph, and I can appreciate that. As what are you eating, just for the sake of conversation?
it is some chicken stuffed crab from Petty's.
Chicken stuffed crab.
Crab stuffed chicken, I guess, is a better way to say that, in that it's correct.
So is it?
So that chicken's
So
better
wait,
than
is
the
the
block.
chicken stuffed with crab, or is the crab stuffed with chicken?
The first.
Okay.
They can just
That's
stuff
what I
anything
need
and
to know.
anything nowadays. It reminds me do you ever watch the Simpsons episode where he's like, I will take one thing, the most expensive item on the menu, stuffed with the second most expensive item on the menu. Very well, sir, that would be lobster stuffed with tacos.
Okay.
Alright.
Sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious. Have you guys seen the new league update yet?
I played one match on it. Does that count?
So you at least saw it.
I saw it.
Doesn't
I
it
looked
look
at
pretty?
it.
I've seen the screenshots of it, and it looks nice.
Jungling's weird. I don't like it.
They just did this whole graphical overhaul, and I thought it was really pretty. And I was like, all right, good for you, Riot, for actually stepping up and actually
Sure.
building up a whole new thing. All right, so that topic sucked. All right,
Yeah, sorry. Destiny is my life sucker of choice.
yeah. All right, so audible topic. Right now, we had Microsoft for Xbox Live Gold members. They get to play Sunset Overdrive for free for 24 hours. What was even better is that their save game actually saved there as well. So if they, just in case that they actually played it, they can actually go on to continue their game. Guys,
Retain
what do
all
you
their
think?
progress.
And
Right.
also, not to mention, Steam has also really had some free weekends as well with Red Orchestra for Payday 2. What do you think of these now free games for such a short amount of time?
I think it's a really cool feature, and it's like a demo, right? Except you retain your progress.
Yeah.
And like PlayStation is doing that same sort of thing, but they even let you play the multiplayer in some games with your friends. I think it's Far Cry 4, isn't it? That
Yeah.
lets you play the
It's the first
multiplayer
one.
even if you don't own the games, and that's a great way to get your friends interested in something that might convince them to play or to purchase the game themselves, right?
Yeah.
Free demos are always a good thing.
I've actually read some articles that say that demos actually sometimes hurt the I guess, it hurts sales. But in this case, where it's a very limited demo, I don't think that's the case. I think it's brilliant. Destiny did it with its beta weekend, and if that helped or not, who knows? Evolve, I think, is going to do it.
They
And
did
sort
an
of-
alpha week,
Right.
Sure.
but I wasn't able to play it, unfortunately.
But I'm pretty sure they'll do a beta as well. I mean, I think giving people a taste, hey, the first hit's free.
I mean, that's sort of what the whole public alpha, public beta thing is, right? I mean, that didn't happen 10 years ago. Not that it could have, before the internet, really. But now that it's happening, that's a way to get demos out and to get the hype going really early.
I don't know
before
if
the game comes out.
I don't know if
I mean, it did, but it was in the PC space before.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much on the console space.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're
mean-
also stress testing too. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it gives you an opportunity to have 1 million people try it.
Right. I'm sure it has a mechanical benefit too, where they can test things, but it's also free marketing,
Yeah,
right? Gets the hype train going.
as long as you can record
Assuming your
video
alpha
on it.
assuming your alpha is decent and isn't
Yeah.
just totally
Garbage.
unplayable.
It's also essentially it's the new way to rent games for a little bit. Like you try it out for 24 hours, or like with Steam, you get to try out these lesser games for a weekend. That it's not from a AAA title. They don't necessarily guarantee, hey, this might be good or not. You're like what was another game that we mentioned like a while ago? Like you knew it was going to be
Floor.
good. Yeah, like you knew it was going to be good. Whereas like the Steam does it with like some of these lesser games. Like, hey, this is fun, but I know you won't trust it, so here's a weekend for it for free. Like they did it with Payday 2, and I tried it, and I absolutely fell in love with the game, and I got numerous friends addicted to it. They did it with Red Orchestra. They did it with Ace Combat a while ago.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was awful.
absolutely
We didn't.
awful.
But like they're doing this more often in
Backfired.
games, and I feel like it's a great way to help build more of an audience. Because I want to know like. I get the reason keep mentioning this game is I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm interested to see what their statistics were. How was Payday's audience before that free weekend? Because
Well,
I feel like more people played it after that weekend.
We know for a fact that at least for one of the games that Clegg, Chase, and myself play. I don't know if Murph you play Killing Floor at all, but that game did very well by having a couple free weekends.
Yeah.
And it sold. I don't remember how many copies, but a relatively low budget game that was originally a mod had a couple free weekends. And people still play the crud out of that game.
Yeah.
Years later.
I mean, and Payday as well, I believe, was I have PlayStation Plus, which is, I quite frankly think, the best value in gaming. Because they give, a couple free games every month.
Yep.
And quite frankly, they're good games. Like this month I got Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
Oh wow.
Holy crap. If you haven't played that game, what are you doing? Stop right now. Go play Binding of... I mean, the original is fantastic, and Rebirth is just a remake of that. So if you're sick of the original, sure. But like it's like a much better Binding of Isaac. What else? Like they give out, like maybe they do give out AAA games just maybe a couple months later. Like what did they give out? They gave out
Far Cry 2 at one point was a free game.
Was it? Okay, yeah. I know XCOM was a free game at one point.
That's a really good one.
What was that? The one where you're in the insane asylum and there's all these like crazy naked guys running after
Outlast?
you. Yes, that was a free game that they gave away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like it's not a joke. They give away some really good games.
Yeah, I
And-
remember
And it
getting it
changes
as well.
every
Like I tried Hydrophobia, which was fun, and I'm trying to remember other ones. Like when they had that massive, like it was right after E3, and they gave out like Space Marine and Ratchet and Clank All for One, which is a lot of fun. They just give out like a lot of good games in general, and I think it gets very underrated. It's not really like, I don't know what.
Well,
I'm
I
saying
think
at
it's
this
on the
point.
radar. I think it's on the radar, but I find that I agree with Murph. It's a great deal because if you think about it, the first paid service for online console gaming was Xbox Live, and you know what they gave us? Online gameplay.
Yeah.
That was it.
And that was it, diddly, besides that.
And just now are they starting to do the same thing as PlayStation.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not nearly the quality.
So I guess what we're saying is
Right.
PlayStation is much better.
Not necessarily. Just the
Not the-
online service.
Yeah. That'll be a whole new debate for another day.
Yeah.
Though I will say that PlayStation has not given away a Sunset Overdrive quality game this early, like for a weekend.
That's true.
That's true.
That is a bold move.
I think
An
it's
expensive one, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, if it's only for like what 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
That's first party, right? That's
thousands
Microsoft
of
developed.
copies.
That was not Microsoft. That was Naughty Dog, wasn't it?
Naughty
Okay.
Dog or Insomnia, one of those two.
I think it was Insomnia.
Probably, I think it's Insomnia because Naughty Dog is doing all the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
Insomnia. Yep.
Yeah, which is weird. Like the Ratchet and Clank developers, like not making a PlayStation game.
I think they're developing for both consoles now.
Good for them.
But
Okay, no, but Microsoft published it, so
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
they still own it. So yeah, like
Yes.
no, so it really it didn't cost them anything.
Okay.
they just, I
So,
think
I
it's
mean,
just
hey.
to generate hype, basically.
That's one way to do it.
I believe didn't Dragon Age do something like that too, where you could play it like on Xbox first or something like that for like a day or something weird like that.
I know I've
Oh,
heard something like that, and I'm trying to
It
remember
was
what
something weird like that, and they were like, "Oh, you can
EA,
play."
EA has a premium service called like EA
Oh,
Access that's
EA
only available on
Access.
Xbox. Yeah, it's only available on Xbox, so they got it like a day early or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that where you have to worry about subscribing to a publisher's specific service like that. Do I need to get am I going to eventually have to get a Ubisoft access, an EA access, an Activision access, all those different publishers, pay them each $5 a month or whatever to get access to the games I want?
But
I don't like
Origin's giving out free
Yeah.
games. The only downside is you have to download Origin.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
and
Right.
for every good game they give away 10 kind of cruddy ones.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I'll stick with Steam, thank you.
I have Origin just because I have to.
Yep.
because of Inquisition, right?
Speaking of
Because of
Inquisition,
Inquisitions.
are you raging yet?
No, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I would argue, and this is going to piss some people off, that it is of the quality of the Dragon Age Origins,
All right.
bugs and
or
all.
higher. Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Dragon Age Origins when it first came out. It was buggy as all heck. You would go into these areas and it would just crash. It's still that way, and you have to finick with some of the settings to get it to run really, really well. But once it gets going and the story starts taking off, it just hits those real high points and those real depressing points that you want it to. And they added a jump button. I mean, good God, jump is amazing. It sounds stupid, but
Here's the weird thing, though. My wife was playing it this weekend, and it actually crashed on her on a PS4. Like,
yeah.
I have not had a crash on a console. I don't really even remember last time I had a crash on a console. Yeah.
That's crazy.
This goes back to what we were talking about actually last week, with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, the glitches.
Yeah.
This is another instance where I think if they would have waited till January, they would have had a perfectly polished game.
Yeah, but then they would have missed the Christmas rush, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Gamers pay money for games, regardless of when it comes out.
Exactly. Well, it's funny is
Yeah, but you want mom to buy her son Billy the game because it's Christmas time too, and she won't do that if it's not Christmas time.
And I understand that, but you're missing this whole... Every year we have a dead zone, August. August is usually oh God, let's scrimp off the bottom of the barrel of last year to get it for games.
hey, we can get a Sonic game out
Remastered.
here, right?
I mean,
It'll usually be August.
I think it was Red Dead Redemption was the one that came out in August, and it sold ridiculous amounts of copies because there was nothing out.
Well, it was also because it was good.
That
Yeah,
was
but
good,
then-
and there was nothing competing against
Yeah.
it.
Funny
But, I mean,
story about
there's
also
not really anything
Inquisition.
competing.
A
What's
girl
up?
I work with was saying, I was like, "Oh, how's Dragon Age?" She goes, "Good. You won't like it." Like, is it because of spiders? She goes, "Yeah,
There's spiders in it.
giant spiders." Like,
Massive spiders.
yeah, I'm not gonna.
You won't get past the first 10 seconds.
That's right. I forgot.
Yep. She's like, "What?
Good
What
times.
about Ocarina of Time? Those aren't spiders. Like, there's still spiders. They're just Scatolas. Nope, Still spiders.
Well, so one of these days,
One of these days.
we'll get you on an RPG and get past the thousands of millions of.
We'll
dead.
download a mod, Chase, that turns every spider in every game into like a unicorn or something, and then it'll be fine.
Wouldn't that be terrifying? A unicorn with 8 legs?
Yes, it would.
There is the Skyrim mod that turns all the spiders into bears.
To bears? Oh my god.
Does it really?
Doesn't sound better.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound better.
I wouldn't mind that. Like, I wouldn't mind that. Then I might actually play Skyrim. I still love the mod where it turns all the dragons into Randy Macho Man Savage. So you hear flying, you hear, "Oh yeah!"
Or the one that turns him into Thomas the Train.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, God.
You just hear toot toot.
that'd be scary.
Fireballs. It is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. I might
Anyways.
actually play Skyrim if I could find that mod. Turns spiders into bears.
Oh, it's out there.
I mean, it was expressly made for people who have trouble with spiders.
All right,
You.
me.
For you, buddy.
Yeah.
Just for me. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for being a part of this, and also thank you guys very much for listening. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are on YouTube with our YouTube channel, That News Show. Also, feel free to leave a like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnewsshow, because That News Show is
I'm
taken.
going to do that.
You go and do that. Also, if you're on Podcast Garden, thank you very much for listening. Feel free to subscribe on iTunes as well. It's still weird. We're on iTunes. And you can follow me on Twitter at Chase Bunker. So for Curtis Coe, Daniel Clegg, and Murph Murphy, I am Chase Bunker. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Eh.